Hello, we're on
Hello.
Deadeye this time.
Yes, and I hear you just insta-unlocked it because you're facilitating my boots bed build.
Indeedy. I'm looking forward to using some cantrips, man, with my my new runes that give me might on cantrip use. It's gonna be great.
Well, I think this build uses some cantrips, so you're gonna be.
Oh, does it really? Good.
You're gonna be extremely pleased with this build. I think you probably will never switch off this build ever again because it's just so good.
I detect a hint of sarcasm.
What are you talking about? I'm never sarcastic.
Okay. Well, so what is this? Is this not actually very good?
No, it's the best build. Actually, so this is less of a build, I'd say, and more of a way of life.
Right. Okay. A way of world versus world life, or does it apply everywhere?
It applies everywhere. Definitely everywhere. Yeah.
Damn.
Way of life. Except for maybe PvP. Oh no, maybe let's do. Yeah, I think you do.
Wow, this has been well scheduled and planned out. I can tell already.
Okay, to be honest with you, okay, hold on, Liz. I'm just gonna do the reveal of this build first before I continue talking. But yes, so it's more of a way of life, and with that way of life comes a new gear set and costume that you have to wear.
Oh, a costume? How do you know I've got it unlocked?
You don't have it unlocked, unfortunately. You're gonna have to go farm it yourself later on.
Is it the timey outfit?
It's not a timey outfit. No, it's a set of gear.
Oh.
Look at me now. Look at me now. This is your outfit. This is gonna be your uniform for this build.
Wow. So the build is required to run this. Your legs, those are some interesting leggings right there.
Thank you. Does this remind you of anything? This the leggings,
some
the
kind of
color
Persian
palette?
prince, some kind of
It might be something from before the release of Guild Wars 2 that might ring some bells.
Oh, really? No, I don't know. What the Mariah? Wait, no, no, I don't know. What is it?
Wait, what if I did this?
You're ringing a bell. I see. I wanted to say it, but I don't know what the. Okay, listen. I saw someone linking something in my Discord earlier, which made me want to say the Minstrel.
That is correct.
Why is it the Minstrel though? And that's a complete coincidence. That was on my mind.
With Deadeye, because Deadeye is such a good elite spec, you're able to utilize all of the Deadeye skills and abilities to become the world's first Guild Wars 2 bard, the Minstrel.
Okay. Are you serious now?
I'm so serious.
Oh, is this a Bootsbad build based on like a certain weapon skin that fires...
No, I don't have... No.
Okay, alright.
Okay, so the idea for this build...
Right.
Is... Okay, so...
Because I'm totally lost. I feel like I'm in some kind of weird, like, surreal, abstract reality right now.
You are. So it's a way of life. What happens is you equip all of your gear, and it all has to be Minstrel gear.
This is a Minstrel's Deadeye. Are you serious?
The Minstrel's Deadeye, that's right.
What? Why?
Why?
I don't understand. What, is it trying to give people might?
No, you're a Minstrel's Deadeye, you're a bard. So yeah, you're trying to do a lot of things, actually. You're trying to do a lot of things.
Is this a real build?
Is
this like B-roll that we're just throwing out? Is this a main episode in the series? Oh, I'm going to have a lot of fun in the Why It's Bad today.
To be honest, I did come prepared with a backup Deadeye build.
Oh, okay. All right.
Don't worry.
Okay.
I did.
All right. Well, so you've intrigued us all. We're all on the edge of our seat right now.
So Deadeye, you're a sniper, right? So what they do for Deadeye is actually interesting. In your snipiness, they give you access to a lot more stealth.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
A lot more stealth, and so you got stealth on your rifle, 2 stacks of it basically of its charged version, so you can just build up stealth that way. You can still stealth with your little combo in your field, and you got another stealth utility skill. You got a stealth elite skill that actually removes revealed as well, and of course you got your stealth heal spell, and you also have, if you wanted to, you have the Shadow Refuge, which is more stealth on tire. So basically what this means,
you can stealth when marking people as well.
Stealth when marking people too, and if you don't take mug or anything like that, you won't go into combat when you do that either. So all this to say is, it has never before been as easy as it is now to have permanent stealth.
But why minstrels?
why minstrels? Well,
Please tell me you haven't made the mistake of believing concentration improves your stealth duration.
oh no.
Okay, all right, good. Okay.
Who do you take me for? It's been 5 years.
No, I know. I almost didn't want to say it out loud, but we had to lay that out there for everybody. Listen, guys.
Oh my god. No, well, actually, Deadeye'd does do something interesting. It has one line of its abilities, essentially, that does a lot of boon stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And so concentration does help with boon share for Deadeye now. And so that is what the things I take. But it's less about that, this build, and more about the way you play it. And it kind of reckons back to once upon a time when...
Boots, I got a question, man. I've got to cut you off here.
Okay, go ahead.
What does it do? What does it do? We stealth, okay, yes.
Yeah.
And we... What? What do we do? Is it like a medic build?
Is it a medic? Yeah, it's a medic build.
It's a medic build. Okay,
it's a bard build. You're
I like
a bard.
medic builds.
You're a minstrel bard. It's very clear what it is.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's very clear. How do you not understand what a bard does?
All right. Okay. So lay it on me.
So besides the traits themselves, well, I'll get that. Okay, so
you wanted to give us the history of the bards, I think, was it?
Right. Yeah. So bards, they go around. They go around with their party. Okay. Usually not alone, because bards are pretty crappy by themselves.
I'm coming. Yep.
Bards are very crappy by themselves. So you go around with people. You whether it's in World versus World, PvE, and if you can't help people with the traits you have or the damage you do, because you do no damage with this build, obviously, you're a medic. In fact, you're a pacifist bard. So you intend to never actually get into combat.
Okay.
And the reason you don't want to get into combat is because besides going invisible all the time, which you can, you are supporting your friends not only with boons but with music.
With music.
You're gonna go around. You use your musical instrument. And
it's a shame that you can't run a focus and put the minstrel on the legendary.
It is a shame that you can't do that. I hope that's the next elite spec. You get a focus.
So interestingly, this is a build that does no accidental packets of damage either with what it tries to do.
That's right. You disable auto attack on both of your weapon sets. You go around. You help people out by playing some music.
Okay.
And what's very interesting is if you want to be really cheeky about it too, you could stack up your invisibility as much as you want.
Can you support me here against these baddies?
I could. You're not gonna survive for very long. But look, so.
I listened to your stealth.
Well then, that's a shame. That's a real shame.
No,
you did this to me. You did this to me.
I countered the bard build. Oh no, we've got a Hollowsmith on us. All right, let's see.
It's fine.
Let's see his shock at the minstrels.
This is not an issue. You're not worried about people attacking you because you can just get away really easily with all your stuff.
All right, I understand.
So what you ruined there, though, was the secondary function of this build. Which is, if you don't have any friends with you, the point of this build is to be invisible 24/7, following around your enemies, and playing music for them, invisibly.
Oh, right.
So you could be invisible for a long time, and because of it, you could just swap on your choir bell or whatever instrument you have, and just play music for them, and they don't know where it's coming from.
Wow, I like it a lot. I mean, I've got a critique which I'll get to later in that section of the show, I guess. Yeah, but I like it a lot.
Besides the obvious utility that I just explained to you,
okay,
it has some backup utility, I suppose. If you don't want to go, because you don't need the stealth on taking cover, sniper's cover, as a trait. So we'll go to the traits right now. Okay. You don't need that.
Okay.
So you could go full-on boon support.
Right. I like the sound of this.
That's probably what you would do in PvE if you're running this build. Full-on boon support. Because thieves have a really interesting boon support role now that they could do. It's not particularly good, but it does stuff. Like, it could easily give 25 stacks of might to 10 people around you really easily.
Yeah. Definitely.
So it all revolves around stealing from people and then using the stolen skills on your target. You can pump out 10 stacks of might with this fire for effect trait over here.
Super strong.
Each time, and it's really long might too with your minstrel gear.
Yeah,
And
30
then
seconds,
also,
right?
yeah, exactly. And each stolen skill also has a boon that could be applied to you and your allies when you use it on a marked target as well. And then finally, whenever you use a cantrip, you get a new stolen skill to get those boons out again as well.
Okay.
Now, for world versus world, I stick to my stealth roll.
Okay.
I'm guys. If you want to be pro bard, you got to stick to your stealth roll in world versus world. But when you're outside of world versus world, you don't need to. Pro stealth world versus world uses shadow arts as its secondary trait line.
Absolutely, yeah.
Obviously. And so with shadow arts, actually, you get a little extra bonus to this build, which I built into it as well. You get merciful ambush, which revives, makes your revive 10% faster, and also stealths you and your revive target when you do it. Also, your Grand Master Cloaked in Shadow means that you can't, and people, you can't be critically hit while stealth. So if somebody's like trying to work down a target and you're in their cleave while rezzing, even though you're invisible.
Yeah, that's really nice. I mean, I used to enjoy playing an Ellie medic that would camp in Earth during rezzes because you couldn't be crit, and that is very, very, very fun.
Yeah, that's right. And so, and on top of that, you also get 25% damage reduced on you, and I think, yeah, and also whoever you give stealth to as well.
Wow, really? That's pretty crazy. So that's
so
from Resilience of Shadows, the Grandmaster
That's right,
Miner.
the miner there.
Damn.
And then finally Hidden Thief, so you get extra stealth when you steal from people. And you move 50% faster when you're stealth.
That's actually really fun, a tanky, stealthy kind of build there.
Exactly. And just because there's also a lot of conditions moving around in World vs. World, you got to put on the Shadow's Embrace. You just got to. It has to be done.
Okay.
Yeah. So that means with your equipment, what you could do there is put on some Runes of Mercy onto your gear as well.
Definitely, I agree.
And you get 400 extra toughness while reviving an ally, and you resurrect allies 30% more health, and 20% faster. So the reses go off really quickly. It's a shame that, I mean, this is a build that I saw being played a while ago by, I forget the guy's name, but it was pretty cool. Similar to this. Obviously it wasn't running Deadeye because it didn't exist at the time.
Yeah.
And so he couldn't get permanent invisibility, I don't think. Maybe he did, I'm not sure. But it wasn't as easy as it is now. And but the good thing about it back then was that quickness, I think, affected your rezzing.
Yeah, and it was even crazier.
But I don't know if he actually had quickness all the time. I mean, he might have been running haste. But more importantly, he also there was a trait. The 25% damage reduction used to be 50% damage reduction.
Back on my feet.
So that was nice.
That's very strong. Yeah.
So this is what you do. You run around. You stay invisible. You press F on downed bodies, and you press F on your friends' downed bodies.
Okay, can we do the wise bad?
No.
Come on, let's do the wise bad. Come
No,
on, I'm itching. I'm
that's...
dying here. I'm dying.
No. Oh, also, sorry. Trickery is your final thing, because when you steal, you give might and fury and swiftness to all your friends, and then steal boons from people and give those boons to all your friends.
Okay, that is kind of cool. I do like that. I do like the booning.
Yeah. So it's actually, if you remove the ridiculous factor of this build, which is 99% of it, you actually have a decent boon support kind of build, just that doesn't do any damage whatsoever.
I actually genuinely like the playstyle of this. I don't believe it's effective at all, but I think that this is kind of like a very raw, like, supporty kind of. I reckon it would be really fun to run around in World vs. World and perma-res, like play with a single super glassy friend. And I reckon you could squeeze out, if they're good, you could squeeze out like quite a lot of 2v2s on this. Maybe even some 2v3s. Where they die and you just res them, and then they die and then you res them. I like medic builds. I do like medic builds.
Yeah, it's a decent build, and they're invisible. And this is permanently invisible. It's pretty damn good.
Okay, can we do why it's bad?
I don't think that's necessary.
All right, here's why it's bad. Okay.
Well, hold on a second. Last thing, if you're not going permanently invisible in PvE, instead of shadow arts, you could run deadly arts and get improvisation to get even more boon support, because you get 2 stolen skills whenever you steal from someone.
Okay. All right.
The end.
Okay, here's why it's bad.
All right, go.
Arenanet killed medic builds in PvP with, first of all, crazy CC, which unfortunately you're not going to be able to deal with very well.
Well, you could run food. You could run food that reduces the CC.
Still, you're going to get interrupted whether you're stunned or not. The stab isn't there, unfortunately. Other medic builds have got a bit more stab. Even without that, they killed them because mercy runes don't exist in PvP anymore because it was too strong.
You can't do it in PvP.
So it's dead in PvP.
Still do it in World
now,
versus
the PvE side of things is bad because the stealth does nothing for you. And as fun as this is in a place like World versus Worlds, I actually think I'd be bored before I leave the gates of Amnoon on this build in PvE.
I think you might be right.
Which is unfortunate. It could be fun. The meta for this in PvE, I will give you the credit, is that you kind of like a creepy stalker dude. You find a random and you run around with that random in the open world playing your music constantly. They might get a kick out of it and then you'll get a kick out of them getting a kick out of it. So that's the meta for PvE. Unfortunately, I don't see it goes anywhere further. So we're in a weird slice of PvE now. So that's unfortunate.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I mean, it's pretty clear that in World versus World.
Now, let's talk about World versus World. This is why it's bad in World versus World. All right, there's two reasons specifically. First, you haven't got enough cleanse for the bodies. So the CC still applies, obviously, but unfortunately, any good medic build you want to be ripping that poison off the bodies ASAP.
True.
All right, and you haven't got the support for that. Now, here's the real killer, unfortunately, as to why this is bad. And everything else is solid. It's tight. I like it. It's perfect. It's a great build. But unfortunately, you are hard countered by the options menu meta, where your opponents can disable player item chatter, and unfortunately, they can disable the sound of your soothing music while you run around as a siren.
But what you're saying is that this is a game-breaking build because it literally forces people to change their settings.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, if this existed before Path of Fire, you could have got away with it because it's a fairly new option. But the devs have foreseen this theory craft you've come up with here. What can I say? You come up with the most broken things, but they preempted you on this one. And unfortunately, it's bad because you have been short-circuited. Now, I want to get into another discussion as well. Why the hell does this have to be Deadeye? Come on, you get a bit of stealth.
It's so easy to get all that extra stealth now.
I like Shadow Meld. I do like Shadow Meld because you can genuinely, as a Deadeye build now, if an NG comes and hits you, like in Cleave, and he's running the trait and he reveals you, you can legitimately Shadow Meld to re-stealth, and to strip revealed from yourself. And I actually genuinely love that. I love that medic builds have got that now because of Deadeye. But come on, it's not a Deadeye build.
It's not. It doesn't have to be a Deadeye build. It just makes stealth a lot easier with Deadeye.
Yes, I would offer you that it does have quality of life, and there's other little things. I like that it can keep up with pretty much anyone as well.
But I mean, you lose. You have to wear Minstrel build to be a bard. You have to wear Minstrel gear to be a bard. Obviously, it's quite clear.
No, see, Minstrel's a question as well. Sentinels.
No,
much
sorry,
better,
man. You are a bard. The build theme is bard. You have to wear Minstrel's gear.
Or nomads. Sorry.
No. You have to wear Minstrel's gear. You're a Minstrel bard.
Yeah, but this is the other thing. Like, this is not meta for Minstrel. If you want to be meta for Minstrel, you need to run a class that's got a focus and use the Minstrel. Your Winter's Day Bell does not, that's not meta. That's a tacked on. You've blue tacked that on there, and it's going to fall off any day now. That doesn't work. All right?
I feel like the pop gun makes up for
pop gun is good.
Rifle.
I do like me some pop gun.
Sniper rifle makes up for not having the Minstrel.
Yeah. So unfortunately, Boots, I've been a bit critical here. I know that it's your heart and soul's on this one, as far as I could tell. But yeah. So there you go. That's why it's bad. I think I've given you a few reasons.
Yeah. Okay.
But hey, at least it's raid viable. At least it's got that going for it.
Oh, also just don't forget to eat your Halloween food that gives you blessings on revive.
Oh yeah.
So when you revive people, you give them.
And which one would you go with for that, Boots?
I was running the feline blessing.
No, come on, no, you run the one that makes you tankier. You run the one that gives you PTV.
I suppose. But this is for both people. This is
and you listen. If you run the PTV one and that gets you a clutch res, you wouldn't have had otherwise.
I did the one that gives all attributes. I didn't want to be.
Oh, Celestial.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess.
Yeah, I didn't want to make people have to play a certain way. I want to be able to res everybody and give everybody something.
I guess.
Yeah. Come on, man.
I like that you can stealth the body and give them 25% damage reduction. I actually like that. I think that's so cool. Yeah. To give that to a body, that's like really strong.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty good. So obviously this build's a joke, but the other build that I have is at least useful, and I think it's pretty straightforward. I think a lot of people are currently playing it right now, but since it's just a bonus build, I felt comfortable talking about it.
Okay. So we're not going to do the whole hog on this, but we are going to...
We're done. We're done with this build.
Okay.
All right, so we got pistol going on. Pistol Deadeye is kind of the what is it called? Default Deadeye build right now, because not many people really enjoy the sniper rifle that much.
It's very slow and stationary and...
Exactly, and so because of it, a lot of people have been starting to do the pistol, and pistol is actually pretty good. Not necessarily for all game modes, just it's definitely interesting for open world. So this is more of an open world build.
And I like Deadeye, the idea of the playstyle in Deadeye, where it's a bit like Dragon Hunters spamming their spear F1s, right? Like you F1, kill it, swap to a new guy, F1, kill it, swap to a new guy, F1, kill it, swap to a new guy.
Exactly.
I like that.
Exactly. So it does a hell of a lot of damage. I think like when you're hitting something on an unload, you do like 12k damage or something like that. And what's interesting about it is that it makes it, the way this current version of the build is set up, you basically never run out of initiative.
Right, because you regain it all. So this is reliant, well, not reliant, but it largely leans on a fairly recent change to unload, which is that if you land all the hits, you get a chunk of initiative back. That's right.
And so basically you get a bunch of initiative back, and here let's go over the traits, I guess.
Do you want to go to PvE just to,
Yeah, make this more useful. So Pistol Daredevil, or not Daredevil, Deadeye. It's an interesting build. It's very, very straightforward, and fun to use. I'd say it's fun to use. It's very single target too, though. Just you have to remember that you're not hitting multiple targets with it.
Yep.
So it's very straightforward, but what's interesting about it is that there's a lot of internal customization you can do with this build. And I'll show you 2 versions of it, and there's actually quite a few other versions you could use of it that are just as good and just different in different ways. But it's all basically berserker damage, crazy damage, and move target to target as fast as possible.
Okay.
So this version is the never-ending initiative version. So let's, target a warthog. So as you know, with Deadeye, what happens is when you kill your marked target, I don't have, gonna go to options, gonna go auto targeting. That's a lot easier.
Nice.
Yes. So they're invisible. Hey, stop being so invisible. So yeah, when you kill your marked target, you get to get your target back, your mark back. Yeah. And so it's like a rolling thing where you keep on marking your target and keep on doing a lot of damage to things. So the reason why marking your target over and over again is so important is because of the Grandmaster skill in Deadeye, which is Quicker Be Killed, which gives you quickness when you mark your foe and gives you power and precision, 200 power and 200 precision when you have quickness. So if you keep on being able to mark your targets fast, you get a lot of quickness, you can stack it up, and you have so much.
And it's important to point out, quickness on unloads is like really beneficial. So you get like extra synergy on it.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason why this version of the build is basically unlimited initiative is because it uses trickery, which first of all gives you an extra 3 initiative max. If you hit all your bullets on your unload, you get initiative back, 2 initiative back. And also you have quick pockets, which say when you swap weapons, you gain 3 initiative. So what you do is you just have your 2 guns, put 1 in the on hand, put 1 in the off hand, and when you swap weapons, you get your 3 initiatives, but you still have your pistol.
I love builds that use that. I don't know why, but I always enjoy playing builds.
Yeah, it's very economic because you don't have to buy 4 guns. You just buy 2, and it still works. And so you just swap, you gain your initiative back. You have an insane initiative, and your utility skills could work into that as well. You could fine-tune it. If you find you don't need all this initiative, you don't need to run, let's say, roll for initiative. or you don't need to run Infiltrator Signet, which gives you initiative once every 10 seconds.
If this doesn't sound exciting to people, just consider, is Perma Fury, Perma 25 Might, and very high quickness, if not Perma Quickness if you're bouncing enough. There's also, so what are you taking Trickery the first rung? Are you taking Burst of Agility or Thrill of the Crime?
I'm using Thrill of the Crime.
Right, okay. Because I've heard some people using that as well.
Exactly, that's one of the customization options, obviously. Thrill of the Crime could work just as well. I mean, Burst of... what's it called? Lesser Haste. The Burst of Agility could work just as well. It also stacks up your haste a little more, so that's not so bad. Also, if you're using... I'm using Trickster, which reduces the cooldown of that Lesser Haste, and also removes a condition when you hit from behind with it.
Yeah, that's nice.
So that's nice. So I also run haste, which also gives you a lot of quickness. So it depends. Like, you'll have a little bit less fury if you run that, but if you're running your critical strikes, which I am with this build, you could do no quarter, which means you don't need to have the extra fury from Thrill of the Crime, because you'll have permanent fury from no quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, did I go over the traits yet? No, I didn't, eh?
You explained be quick or be killed. You never pointed out the other two rungs.
Okay, so the other two things is your first attack stuns when you hit a newly marked target.
Which is nice because you bounce and then you bounce and you bounce.
Yeah, stun every time, first time. Revealed Malice is one I'm running, but you could run Iron Sight to do so your marked target does less damage to you. That's always useful. But I do Revealed Malice for a different build version of the build I have. I'll explain that in a bit. Now I run Critical Strikes as my other thing. Depending on the version of the build, I use Twin Fangs, which basically gives you extra damage. Practice Tolerance, which basically gives you a lot of extra damage. And finally, No Quarter, which gives you a ton of extra damage with that Ferocity, and Unlimited Fury. Now, if you see that you're taking a lot of damage and you're dying more often than not, instead of No Quarter, you run Invigorating Precision, which basically doubles your health gain on hits.
Yeah, and it's just so that people understand, that's Invigorating Precision is an extremely strong trait.
Especially if you're really running like a Berserker Assassin's build.
Yeah. In fact, I would recommend always, I think. I mean, No Quarter is very strong, but I would recommend Invigorating Precision for that.
Right,
if you're doing this to play through the story in an open world and stuff, just run Invigorating Precision. You'll make your life so easy.
Exactly.
That comboed with the heal skill is just nuts.
Yeah, and if you are running Invigorating Precision, you will want Thrill of the Crime instead of Burst of Agility, because then you'll have your Permanent Fury.
Yeah.
Invigorating Precision is so strong. It's a good combo with Signet of Malice as well. Signet of Malice with Pistol Unload means you're healing 1,000 health every time you unload. And then with the Invigorating Precision, you're probably healing an additional 2,000 health.
Yeah, it's basically all these hits are healing you like mad, guys. Basically.
Exactly. You're able to top off in your health, which explains your Signet choice, which is your rune choice, which is Runes of the Scholar, which is 10% extra. A lot of Fury and Ferocity and Power, and then an extra 10% damage when your health is above 90%, which is quite often because you're topping yourself off so often.
Okay.
And I've actually been using Signet of Impact on one of my...
because of the stun on intro?
Exactly. So the stun on intro is about a second. You get an extra 10% on that second of things, and you are doing so much damage in that first second that it's almost like all of the damage you do to normal mobs.
So it covers it. That's nice.
Exactly. And then since I'm using Berserker gear instead of Assassins, I'm using just a Superior Sigil of Accuracy. You might want to do Perception instead. That'll give you if you're just doing open world, because that'll give you an extra... I think like an extra 5%.
Yeah, and stacking sigils are fun in open world. If we're talking about open world builds, stacking sigils are fun. What are you recommending for food to people? Because I've got a thematically tied and fun food for this build.
Oh, really? Okay, well, I've been using, for the food, just basic power ferocity food.
Nah, what you want to do for open world, guys, especially on a build like this, which is about quick snap kill, snap kill, snap kill, refresh your buffs every time you kill, go Dragon Breath Bun. It's too fun.
Dragon Breath Bun, what's that?
It's a ferocity, and then when you kill a foe, plus 200 power for the next 30 seconds.
Oh shit! Yeah, definitely use that.
I think that's the or it's the other way around. But yeah, that's what it is. It's
definitely.
So that's just cool. It's not necessarily better, but it's cool for this playstyle out in the open world.
Yeah, in fact, that brings me to my next version of the build, which would definitely 100% use that. Is the Rolling Thunder, I like to call it, version of the pistol build.
Okay, so go on, enlighten us.
So instead of trickery, you will be doing deadly arts.
Why do we make this change?
Because you are going to be enhancing your on-kill aspects of this build.
Okay.
So you still state critical strikes, and you still do the same Deadeye stuff. You got Revealed Malice, Unforgiving, Be Quick or Be Killed. And instead of Twin Fangs and critical strikes, you're going to be moving it to Signets of Power for your adept trait.
Okay. Signets gain reduced recharge and an additional passive. And
That's right.
I guess you want to pick up the Assassin Signet, which is Might on Kill.
No, you don't really
right.
need that extra might. You would only take it for the extra power it gives you.
Yeah.
You don't need that extra might. Instead, you're going to be picking up both Infiltrator Signet and Signet of Shadows.
Okay. This is new. I've not really ever looked at this. Was this a recent patch where they changed
I think,
this?
yeah, it's a recent trait. I think it came in around the same time the Might Makes Right came in.
Okay, alright. So, stealth on kill. Oh, wow. Oh, so you're going to stealth on kill, which means your next engage is going to put revealed on you, which you're then going to take advantage of.
That's right. So that is why you are taking... So for this, I have not been using Invigorating Precision, even though it's so good, because I need no quarter to continue my Fury. Now, so here's the deal.
Comes down with me. There's all these scarabs. You can show this off as well after you've described it.
Yeah, so you on a kill, you get stealth. And so you quickly go to your next target and unload with your sneak attack quickly, because that's free, basically 50% of an unload.
Okay.
So you don't need that extra initiative that much for that. And then you mug them, which does some extra damage, heals you for 2,000. And then you are revealed. So you get revealed training, which gives you an extra 200 power.
Yeah.
And finally, I chose Executioner as the other trait.
And they'll get stunned. So you'll stack the revealed on top of the sigil of impact and all that stuff.
That's right. So it's an extra, like, I don't know, 40%.
So it's all about basically, if you like the idea of having a massive instant big spike, as, you know, going all in on that kill.
Yeah. So instead of 12,000 damage on your first unload with the other build, you'll do like 17,000 damage on your first unload. So basically killing any normal creature out there.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So full on kill, what do we got going on? What happens when you get a kill? First of all, you get 200 power for 30 seconds. When you're above 90% health, which happens a lot with this build, you have 200 power from the writ. You go invisible. Then when you get uninvisible, you get another 200 power. You get initiative when you kill. You get an extra health when you kill. Your thing gets refreshed when you kill. You get an additional quickness. It's a lot. It's a lot.
All right, so let's show it off.
Okay. All right. We need a lot of things.
Oh yeah, there's lots of little ooze around.
Okay, I guess so. So here's an ooze. You kill it. Also, important to note, so I just killed it in one unload. It's important to note that the stolen skill can be used in the middle of an unload cast.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's weird. It does have a cast time, but if you're using it in the middle of an unload for some reason, or in the middle of another skill, it doesn't interrupt the skill, and it doesn't... it still casts.
Yeah, okay.
All right, tell me, try to do one why it's bad for it. I mean...
All right, well, there was, obviously, you mentioned a minute ago, there is kind of the single target fact of it, that it is very specifically now on one mob. Now, I think that's actually kind of okay, though. When you look at Path of Fire, a lot of, and especially like when you look at the first playthrough of the story and all that stuff, and the way a lot of the bounties work and things, it's not that often you're fighting multiple targets anyway. But it's kind of there's a weird push-pull in it where it's a lot of single target damage, but they also have to be kind of fast-dying single targets, because when you get in a situation like this where there's lots of damage you need to do to a single target, you lose like a lot of that synergy. You touched on something a second ago as well, and that's the idea of mobs that when they die don't proc all your stuff. which is always a problem with on-kill effects in this game, which sucks.
Yeah.
And I kind of hope that the devs continue looking at and considering as they play through this stuff. So that's a little bit of a problem with it as well. But I think that especially when you run the version with the Signet and with Invigorating Precision, like this is exactly the kind of really solid, sustainy, but high damage build that that's most fun in open world and in places like this, you know. I think that it's really strong. I think your Boots Bad version of it becomes a bit restrictive and limiting. Like I like the idea of those very quick bursts where you immediately snap in, but it does limit your choices more.
Exactly. It really like it pushes it to the limit, but it removes a lot of functionality.
And I think the other thing is, despite all of this is here, and this is great here in Cursed Shore, I think when it comes to Path of Fire, the number of mobs that will splash blinds out on you or might block the odd thing here or there and then mess up your initiative on unload or something, I think that can suck too, definitely. And it's probably going to be more of a thing than it first appears. But yeah, if I was going to run a Deadeye through Path of Fire, it'd probably be on that build. If I was choosing not to use the rifle. And ultimately, rifle is fun at what it tries to do, but what it tries to do doesn't necessarily gel very much with the fast-paced nature of zipping around in open world environments and in story and stuff. And I think that that's the key difference there. So I like the pistol thing there. I like how a new spec has introduced a new reason to run a kit that was lacking before, and I think that's one of the most beautiful things that elite specs can do. Just as Daredevil, a lot of people say, oh, they stripped out all the worthwhile stuff from Acrobatics just to put it in Daredevil later. But Daredevil kind of did a similar thing with Acro as well, if we take the slightly less cynical approach. But yeah, so that's why I'd say it's bad. It's also obviously extremely glassy and quite counterable. But
yeah, well, counterable for sure, yeah.
So yeah, I think it's nice, and it's nice to see you running the Dragon's Breath buns and stuff as well.
Thanks, man. That was a really good idea. Thank you for that.
Well, there you go.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess I will see you next time.
Look at what class are you thinking of next? Do you have any ideas?
I have Revenant. I think I'm gonna do Revenant because I have it ready. I think it's fine. It's good.
Revenant.
We'll
okay, I'm hoping. Okay, I won't say what I'm hoping.
You know exactly what it's gonna be.
Can I just say then? Can I guess?
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Yeah.
This might get cut because I'm gonna be totally right here. I'm expecting